Friday, the 24th of July show, and we have tons of announcements. Michelle, you're first. I have some too, but you go first.
You first.
I have the new vendor, our detox vendor, under our website. If you go to products, which includes 3 devices, our home ozone machine is available now. It's an amazing price.
Yay! I wanted you to say that. We finally got them in.
And we also have the home air filtration system, which is phenomenal. Excellent price, too. And we have the hydrogen anion foot bath detox, whole body detox device available also.
Well, Blaine, I hope you're listening up there in Edmonton, Alberta. You've been waiting and waiting for the ozone for, it's been months.
And I also have now the Bioplasm Pro and Expert and the Metapathia available for diagnostic therapeutic treatment, and those are available also.
So what about, tell me a little bit about the ozone machine. What is it?
It's very simple, which is what I like. You dial it up to 30 minutes, and it'll generate ozone with a little tube, and it has a number of what's called little degasser devices that you just put in your water. You can generate ozone water to drink, or you can generate ozone water to take, if people use it for ozone detox for enemas. You can also use it for cleaning veggies, or you can put an ozonated water container in your refrigerator, and as the ozone bubbles off, it'll detox your refrigerator, because the ozone kills the vapors. Or you can even have a dish of ozonated water, say, in a room, and it'll actually start to grab the toxins. The ozone air filtration system uses a combination of ozone plasma and multiple air filters, so it's not just like the Go Healthy Next system, which just generated plasma, and then, of course, when you generate a plasma, it changes the charge of the molecules. You have to then grab them. So this has a number of air filters.
Okay, TMI, too much information. Let's go back to the beginning. Where is it on the website?
If you just go under body and home detox, you just go under the thing there, you'll see detox.
Well, under our products, where is it?
Well, let me just find the spot here for you.
Okay, while you're doing that...
it'll take me just a second. If you go down here under products...
Yes.
Yeah, you'll see just under Zeolite, you'll see body, home, detox, technologies.
Oh, gosh, you should have put it under O for ozone. I think I'll correct that for people so it's a little bit easier. Okay. I'll fix that and make it under O for ozone.
Well, I can do that right now while we're talking to you.
No, you
How about you do your notice? How about you do your notice? And
look over here. You don't do that now. We're on the air. Stop that, Bill.
Here, I can check that in 1 second. Here, watch this.
Okay, Bill's not going to. He's ignoring me. Okay, so hello. At least you guys aren't ignoring me.
This is part of the entertainment.
They're not ignoring me, Bill. Thank you. It's great to be here. I have people that are actually listening to me. I think.
Well, this is my way of teasing you. Okay.
I want to bring up. Bill, stop talking. I'm talking.
You threatened to change my fancy new thing, so I'm going to put it under O for ozone. How's that? And it's done.
We can't be talking at the same time. All they hear is gurgly-gurk. Okay?
Oh, well, it's done, by the way. I just did change it so it's ozone body detox. How's that?
Now, oh my gosh. Bill, you know that I'm going crazy with carrot bars. Everybody knows that out there. I can't continue going this crazy. So guess what? Thank you, Bill, for fixing that. Yes, I do see that. Thank you. Okay. Carrot bars has been refined so that Michelle doesn't go crazy. I can't do this all by myself. So, now, from today on, you can register with carrot bars with Nutrimedical simply by going to our website and clicking on the front page under Nutrimedical Associates. Bill, go ahead and do it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Click underneath on the text, underneath carrot bars.
Yeah.
Click on that. And then once you're in, boy, you're slow, Bill.
No, it's I have a lot of windows open, so it just takes a second here.
Oh my gosh, how many windows do you have open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You've got about 70.
No,
I've never seen anyone with that many windows.
I'm a busy guy. I have lots of here. Go ahead.
Whoa.
Beyond the entertainment, you only have so much time here. You only want to stay 2 hours.
Now listen, once you click on the text under carrot bars, it's going to bring you directly into Nutrimedical 7, into our carrot bars website. What you want to do from here on in is click on registration in the upper right-hand corner. Registration. Do that, Bill.
Yeah, registration is the...
Then what you want to do, immediately a screen comes up, become an affiliate. On the left, you want to click on that. Click on that, Bill, please. And then once you do, you're going to see Nutrimedical 7 and our Carrot Bars ID. You are free to go in and register there because it's too much pressure on me to get the people in as timely a fashion as I want and figuring out who called first and who didn't. From here on in, I want you to go in and I want you to register. The steps are easy. Even I did it my first time. It's just, it gives you prompts how to put in a password and everything. And then you'll go to the next screen, you put in your address and a telephone and a couple other goodies there. And then when you click through confirm on that, you will be registered and you will be in with Nutrimedical. After that, you can log in with your brand new, you'll be given a new username and a new password. You can log in to directly onto Carrot Bars, onto your own website then, type in your own name and all that, and then you can go in and you can do one of two things. You can go in and complete your registration with KYC, that's Know Your Customer, which means that you have to give them your driver's license and it'll give you the instructions on what to do to verify that you are who you are. And you only do that once.
Yeah,
you're done.
Driver's license and?
Yeah, and a bill, but they'll see the instructions there. And then you can, after you're approved...
Yeah, no, you have to do the other document. And they have to be on separate pieces of paper.
Yeah, I know.
So it's important to remember, because some people will stick it on one piece of paper and they cause a problem.
It gives you instructions right there, Bill. It tells you.
I'm just kind of highlighting it because it's something that's come up a few times.
It tells you how to do it. Just read it. It's so straightforward.
Right.
Then you can go in after your KYC is approved and you can purchase product. Then under the products, you purchase whatever you want.
Call a package.
Bronze,
you go to packages.
A package. You purchase. Then you can go in and then you can get your bronze, your silver, your gold, or your VIP, whichever you want.
Which is, by the way, the bronze is around $113. It's 5% of your downline. Silver is 10, gold is 15, and VIP is 20%. So.
What are you talking about? 115 and 10%? No.
Well, the actual cost is 99 euros, which works up to $113 and change.
And the silver is around 300. The gold is around 700.
Right.
The VIP is around 1,800.
Right.
The points that you get that you're talking about in the percentages are 5% for bronze, 10% for silver, 15% for gold, and 20% for VIP.
Yeah, and the points downline are all accumulated to infinity, which means all the people below you, those points will accumulate, and you'll be making money which will give you discounts on purchase of gold and money in your MasterCard debit card.
So from here on in, I want you to go in and register yourself, get that done, log into your website and get your KYC, Know Your Customer going, and then your product purchase. But in the meantime, please call me. I still want to talk to you and everything and help you and walk you through and all that. So still feel free to call me, but it'll be wonderful if you get yourself already registered because that's going to save me from having to take the time to do that.
That's good.
Are we coming into a commercial, Bill?
No, I can hear some background noise. So there probably is an open speaker at the studio. I can hear some talking.
You hear something in the background?
Yeah.
Okay, so not to bore you to death. Hey, Tom, congratulations. Tom from Scotland is registered. He registered himself, Bill, over there in Scotland, and he has a joke. So do I have any time for Tom's joke?
Go ahead.
The joke is based in the future. And it's about three women, one blonde, one brunette, and one redhead. Well, the brunette wants to go to Jupiter, Bill, and the redhead wants to go to Mars. And the blonde wants to go to the sun. And they look at her and say, it's too bright and it's too hot to go to the sun. She says, that's okay. I'll go at night. Thanks, Tom. I love your Scottish jokes. I love his jokes. They're so funny. And he laughs so hard when he tells it that you can't help but laugh.
Back in a moment with more announcements and more solutions to your wellness problems with Nutrimedical protocols and wellness conditions. And welcome back. And Michelle, you have some more comments, questions from a lot of our listeners and customers. Go ahead.
Yeah, I talk so much about the Carrot Bars. I want to get a few of the questions from telephone calls, and one is from Stephanie, or actually it's not. It's more of a praise report. Stephanie from Sacramento, our capital here in California. She wanted me to tell you that she has had a problem with too deep sleep for years and years. She can sleep through smoke alarms. Anything can happen, and she just doesn't wake up. She can't be aroused.
Right.
And she said since she's been taking the Indiamese, she's able to be, they can wake her up, if it's a loud noise or an alarm. She said now her alarm clock in the morning will wake her up.
Yeah, it's remineralizing the control centers of her hypothalamus and pituitary glands where normal diurnal cycling patterns are normalizing.
Oh.
So we tell people to take Vitamin Mineral Max and Minerals Plus because you want the minerals. And because then when you take the Indiamese, it pulls the minerals into those nuclei and optimizes them, and then those nuclei start to act more normally. Yeah.
And I think for our friend Ken in Georgia, last week he wanted me to ask you about his mom. I remember his mom, one of our
very
celebrities
neat.
here.
Very neat mom, yeah.
93 and just on the Vibra Slim, and man, that woman's amazing. She's going to be around for a long time. She's Ken has her on a lot of our products, as you know, but she is taking Synthroid, and he wanted to know if she could go off it, and if she did,
firstly, Synthroid is not optimal. About 40 years ago, the doctors switched to synthetic thyroid, and they started doing testing, and they were measuring T4 levels. T4 is not a hormone; it's a pro-hormone. When it's converted by the outer ring deiodination of the 5' deiodinase, and it requires 7 minerals, especially, and it's amplified by monoatomic iodine, which your thyroid makes a little bit. You want to switch to our mitothyroid, 2 capsules twice a day, then monitor 3 things. The core body temperature with a gerotherm alcohol or a good electronic thermometer with a chart to see if she's hypothermic, because if she's hypothermic, you need to raise the dosage. Number 2, you want to measure blood tests of free T3, reverse T3, and free T4, and high sensitivity TSH. And the third thing you do is want to just keep an eye on symptoms. If you're reversing her hypothyroidism, her core temperature will go up, but also her skin won't be dry. She won't get what's called myxedema, which is kind of a non-pitting edema of her legs, like rubbery. And the outside of her eyebrows won't break off, and her skin won't be dry. So a lot of times people are given Synthroid, their doctor measures T3 and T4, and they're still hypothyroid. In fact, the vast majority of people that are treated with Synthroid are still hypothyroid, and it's a major contributor to dementia, heart disease, hypertension, and diabetes. So you don't want to undertreat thyroid function. And if you undertreat, you also stress their adrenals. And a lot of time they need adrenal support too.
So what would you replace it with?
2 mitothyroid twice a day and 10 drops of Nutridyne twice a day and selenium cruciferate 1 twice a day. Along, of course, she's going to be taking the other minerals, Vitamin Mineral Max, and life support.
She already does, yeah. Speaking of thyroid, Dorothy, our friend Dorothy from Tennessee, wanted to know, she read somewhere on the internet that chocolate can hinder your thyroid.
Not true.
Oh, okay.
In fact, chocolate has one of the most important, it has 2 things in it. Number 1, it has a very important essential fatty acid, and it has also the love molecule in it. That's why people love chocolate. It has the molecule that's released in your hypothalamus that makes you bond, that's tied in with bonding.
Let's go to the emails, Bill, and we'll start with Les from here in California, Rancho Cordova. Dr. Bill, I'm a purchaser of your products. Yes, Les. I have candida, and I had my physical and my blood work come back fine, with the exception of blood sugar was 104, cholesterol a bit high, and I needed Levox. What's that? Levoxitrin. So he put me
levothyroxine. He gets the same thing as Synthroid. It's basically synthetic generic thyroxine.
Interesting. Yeah. And what's this?
Fluticasone. That's really bad because it actually causes a chemical castration. It shuts off your production of male hormones.
Interestingly, he said he felt much better, but now it's all coming back for 14 days when he was on that drug.
Yeah,
now,
the drug
now he's worse. He's bloating and he's got thrush.
What happens is you temporarily knock off the yeast and you actually get a detox reaction because you're not protecting yourself. And secondly, the mycelial form of the yeast is very resistant to fluticasone, so it comes right back. So what you want to do is you want to take our nutraceuticals, Nutridyne, Allicin Med, berberstatin, and you want to recolonize your gut with Living Probiotic Ultra. And you want to stay on the Allicin Med, Nutridyne, and Silver 100, and NutriDefense forever, because you're going to be a sitting duck for this to come back, and berberstatin, and recolonize your gut with Living Probiotic twice a day and Living Probiotic Ultra every 3rd day. It sounds like you have metabolic syndrome and hypothyroidism, so you should be on diabetoline, glycemics, and Minerals Plus to try to reverse the insulin resistance. And the hypothyroidism might switch from levothyroxine to mitothyroid, selenium cruciferate, and Nutridyne.
He goes on to say he lost 32 pounds, Bill, since they gave him that drug, which was needed, he said, but I trust your opinion and expert advice. If you have a protocol and product, I will help. I want my life back, he says. But he wonders here if a couple glasses of port at night would aggravate it.
Yeah, port is a high sugar form. If you're going to have any wine, you want to have low sugar, like a dry red wine, and you don't want white wine, beer, or cider, or any hard liquor. And I tell people the best diet to follow for something like this is George Cruz's low glycemic, low carbo diet. Not they call the paleo diet. I like George Cruz's diet. It's the best.
Brian from Indiana. My friend David has Crohn's disease. What should he not eat and what should he take?
Inflammatory bowel disease is basically a cross-reacting allergy to bread yeast. So you shouldn't touch any bread, shouldn't touch any gluten-containing materials, and any food allergens. You do an IgG test at directlabs.com for the foods and avoid them. And then you want to start repairing the gut wall. We use GastroHeal, Nutrimune, which is immunoglobulins to reattach to the bowel wall villi, and Collagen Max, Mountain Red Velvet, how to rebuild the tissues. Because there's been a damage, the gut is leaky, so you want to avoid anything that's going to release cytokines. I would use Allergon, Allerblock, and Power C Plus to kind of stop the cytokines. The Allergon we're renaming histamine cytokinase because it's much more than an anti-allergy. It actually gets rid of histamine. It's in food, and if you have an inflammatory or autoimmune disorder, you have to get rid of histamine, or it keeps it inflamed.
Jim, in an email, could you please send me the steps to get rid of GERD?
Yeah, GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Yeah, we have a protocol up, and I'm updating it again too.
And what are these things that he says? A Florax or something he's looking for. I don't know.
These are other things that are basic. Don't use products other than ours. Use GastroHeal. Chew 1 to 2 tablets. I recommend for this man with already GERD. 2 tablets 4 times a day. Chew. Take berberstatin, Allicin Med, and NutriDefense, and Nutridyne 4 times a day to knock out the yeast or Helicobacter pylori or fungi in the upper esophagus. And to restore peristaltic movement of the bowel, you want to take IBS Care, which is a slow-release form of carnitine that'll normalize the peristaltic movements of the esophagus so it doesn't crawl up in your chest.
D's in an email. Does Nutrimedical have treatments for cervical cancer?
That's not a treatment. Basically, it'll put it in remission. If you take Allicin Med alone, and many women just find they don't have any more outbreaks and their pap smear returns to normal with their acetic acid test. Allicin Med, and then topically you can apply. We're talking about when you have a cervical cancer, you do the full cancer protocol.
You're thinking of herpes?
See, I'm thinking of herpes, yeah. But cervical cancer, you can do the full cancer protocol, which includes malignant arrest, malignant block, ellagic acid, myco-D2, micelle D3, etc. And welcome back. And Michelle, you have lots of questions. The last person that called in wanted to know about cervical cancer. If it's carcinoma in situ, like herpes simplex, emailed. What you want to do is you want to use things to prevent the early CIA carcinoma in situ or abnormal pap smear. Something as Allicin Med and a douche, for example, with silver 100 Nutridyne will actually kill off the virus, and often the pap will go back if you do acetic acid. If you have full-blown cervical cancer, follow our cancer protocol, which of course is universal for all cancers. Malignant arrest, malignant block, ellagic acid, myco-D2, micelle D3, Inflamax, etc. You see the full protocol. Take high-dose Nutrimedical, and we're talking about 60 to 100 drops a day. I recommend ozonated water as well. And those are real simple things you can do. And then if you need further help, then contact me, and I'll give you recommendations for specific clinics and other things you can add to that.
Tony, in an email, is there any information on your site where I can read up on microdose?
I put the basic information there. Microdose is 100 nanograms of actual human growth hormone per spray. And I recommend 5 sprays first thing in the morning, bedtime, and before exercise, and it'll help to release the growth hormone that your brain releases. So that's how it works. It's actual growth hormone. It's not a releaser. It's not like a growth hormone releasing formula. It's actual physical bioidentical growth hormone, but it's a nanoparticle. It's a nanodosage, which is 100 nanograms per spray. So it helps your body release your own growth hormone. Okay.
Yvonne from Connecticut. I'm a 49-year-old female, and in August 2013 I was diagnosed with hypertension, 230 over 117, Bill.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
So she was prescribed the lisinopril and that metoprolol, whatever it is. I'm getting used to that one. Lots of people are on that.
Right.
She's experiencing elevated A1C since starting these prescriptions. and usually she has 20/20 vision, and now it's not so clear. She's having difficulty reading. I am scared, and I gave up going to my doctor because testing became very expensive, and now my spouse is unemployed, and I'm between a rock and a hard place. I actually need to know which tests to take to give me a better understanding of what is wrong with me. And I no longer have a personal doctor, so please help me in Yeshua's name. Yvonne.
Okay, first it's real simple. Get on cardiovasc and magnesium glycinate. First off, for the hypertension, those are the most important, and Supernox, and get some beet juice or beet juice powder in your diet. The diabetes, I'd start on diabetoline and chromium cruciferate, those two things, and get on the George Cruz low-carb diet. She's basically pre-diabetic, hypertensive, and they go together. And that's what I start with. In terms of testing, you don't have to actually have a testing machine. You go into any pharmacy, they'll do a spot blood sugar. Your blood sugar should be, and your hemoglobin A1C, you don't want to measure more than every 6 months to a year, because it's your hemoglobin lasts 180 days. So if you measure it more often than that, it's not accurate. Now you can do a fructosamine, and there are fructosamine meters, but they're expensive. And if you don't have the money, is what I'd recommend, just go into a pharmacist and say, hey, I'm fasting, test my blood sugar. And the pharmacist anywhere in the country will test it free. And so if your blood sugar is okay, and start following the George Cruz diet, which is a low-carb diet, I would cut out anything white bread, white sugar, any kind of sugary kind of drinks, no soda pop, and then start having small meals for during the day, like at least 3 smaller meals and snacks in between, but make sure they're higher fat, which is healthy fat, like monounsaturated fats. Cook only with things like coconut oil, and try to cut down all of the we call the carbohydrate forms of sugar, and eat healthy proteins like fish and chicken.
Next is Dr. Yi. I think he is a doctor, isn't he? A medical doctor from Malaysia. You
Yes.
know what I mean, right? Greetings again from Malaysia. I hope this email finds you guys well. For a 40-year-old... Gee, Bill.
I'm just too much talking here. Got to get some of my drink, my water.
For a 40-year-old gentleman who suffers from cervical spondylosis...
Right.
of 2 years duration, what are the recommendations on Nutrimedical products and other treatment modalities for him?
Well, most people think that there's an anatomic encroachment in the spinal nerve roots, but it's actually not true. Most of the cases have increased production of the dural nerve sleeve of inflammatory cytokines like tumor necrosis factor alpha, IFN gamma, etc. And very few actually, if you do a CT myelogram or a special MRI scan with actual radiomagnetic dye in the spine, you'll find that very few of them actually have anatomic encroachment to the actual nerves. The best scanning test for that is called a axon 2 nerve scan that will actually pick up the sensory nerves, because they're affected first, A delta and C fibers, and if it's positive, then you can proceed with these more advanced radiological tests. What I usually do is try to shut down the cytokines in the spine first, which is to take things like the allergon or histamine cytokinase and high-dose power C, Inflamex, 3 to 5 capsules 3 times a day, and Cell Defense 2 caplets 3 times a day. Those are the first things you want to take. Then you want to stop the free radicals with Cell Detox, Glutathione, Nutritrel or Regenerex, and Carnosine, because it stops all the different types of cytokines that are going to cause the inflammatory changes along the spinal nerve roots. So most of the time you're dealing with a cytokine disorder rather than anatomical encroachment, which you can prove with these tests.
Tony from Michigan. Hello, Dr. and Mrs. Deagle. I have a question that hopefully you can address on your firing line segment on Friday. I am intrigued by your Mega Muscles product. I am new to Nutrimedical, and I'm just getting going on diabetoline, and I will be starting LipoFlush hopefully today or tomorrow. Can someone who is trying to lose fat use your weight loss products and muscle building products simultaneously? Or should the weight loss be addressed first? Looking forward to your response, and I'm hooked on your show.
They're synergistic to use the amino acids to build up muscle because it helps to work faster to lose weight. And when you're taking the LipoFlush, and I recommend 2 to 4 soft gels twice a day. Also take NutriDefense, 2 to 4 NutriDefense, and Green Tea Select, which the catechins help to speed up the absorption, and you want to increase the absorption of the LipoFlush. Take Power C Plus, 2 to 4 of those twice a day as well, because the BioPerin and the Power C works along with the LipoFlush, and the catechins and the NutriDefense and the Green Tea Select to speed up the fat loss.
And what about the Mega Muscles?
Mega Muscles powder you take before exercise, morning and bedtime, and it's really effective at building up muscle. So whatever exercise you're doing, you're going to build up muscle mass, and especially if whether you're a young person trying to weight lift or you're an older person trying to maintain body mass, because when you lose body mass, you put yourself in great danger, because it's one of the primary things that causes immune system failure in older people. They get under certain body mass, and their immune system starts to fail.
The next question's on carrot bars, but I think I spent enough time on that one today, didn't I?
Yeah, so, okay.
Let's go on to, let's see. Ruben. Ruben from Arizona. And hello, Michelle and Dr. Bill. I have a health question. The doctors found a tumor, cancerous, in my wife's heart. What steps or suggestions do you have to help us deal with it?
Well, first, I've unless it's a secondary, I've never heard of a primary tumor in the heart muscle. So I'd be very suspicious of that. Number one, the gold standard for determining a primary and secondary and its actual location is a spiral CT scan with thin section cuts and a positron emission tomographic scan. You can also there is a universal cancer test. If you contact me, I'll give you the link, and you can actually get that blood test done. So for me, the first step is staging, and number two is genetic analysis. And there's a lab in Cambridge, Massachusetts that can do gene analysis of your blood to determine if there's a specific genes that the cancer turned on. All cancer is an infection triggered by toxins in the tissue and epigenetic changes to genes caused by scalar radiation toxins, heavy metals, and radiotoxins. And there's always an infection present, whether it's mycobacteria, fungi, or intracellular parasites like spirochetes and psittacosis. So when someone says they have a cancer in their heart, it's very, very unusual. I'd be highly suspicious of the doctor's diagnosis, unless it's secondary from some other site.
David says he's a fan in the LA area. My chiropractor started doing something called MLS using laser light to help with healing and inflammation. Is that the same as lumen, photon, Nico, and if not, what type of doctor should...
Yeah, what he's doing basically is doing laser therapy on their acupuncture points. That's an older treatment. We have much more advanced things you can do at home with lumen and micropulse that'll help turn off the pain very quickly at home. And these are devices you can use at home and are very effective.
Okay, when we come back, another David.
Histamine remover. And welcome back. Actually, we're talking about one of our products that we have that we're kind of trying to change a little bit of the title. It's called Allergon. It's basically removes histamine. It's the only one in the world that actually is an enzyme to remove histamine and associated cytokines like interleukin-1 beta, etc.
And how is that different from the Aller block?
Aller block is just a natural form of antihistamine. It blocks the receptor. This actually gets rid of it, which is present in food, or your immune cells release it. I had a lady 2 days ago consult me that went to Uppsala University in Sweden to get a test for carcinoid syndrome. It turns out she had a histamine disorder. They actually found she had an excess release of histamine in her body. So she's going to be taking Allergon, but it really is not just for allergies, which it is good at. It's good at autoimmune disease and dysautonomia, an autonomic disorder, and we call histamine disorder, where you're releasing histamine or cytokines in response to a chronic infection.
Bill, remember we just had David there about the lumen photon and asking the question there. I read on, I thought there's the next person was David, but it's actually him. What he has is cervical disc, a protocol for cervical disc regeneration. And what he says is that I'm scared at the thought of cervical fusion.
Yeah, you don't want to do cervical fusion.
That's
First
why
off,
he's asking about the lumen.
Right, you want to use those technologies, but I would cervical fusion start off with Collagen Max, a capsule twice a day, Mountain Red Velvet, 2 capsules twice a day, Joint Performance, 2 capsules twice a day, Tendon Bender, 2 capsules twice a day. Then take a course of things for building bone. You want to take a bone generator, 3 to 6 capsules after 2 largest meals, Myco D2, 2 capsules twice a day, Mycel D3, 3 soft gels twice a day, and full vitamin K2, 2 capsules twice a day. And you use the lumen photon on the setting number 7 for pain, half an hour to an hour twice a day, and 2 hours of the Nico setting over your neck with Myco, with the lumen photon and the micro pulse. You can actually put those electrodes and wear it around for most of the day. Put it up on setting number 3 at its highest setting, and just make some electrodes. You can make a little strap if you want to, and put it over the areas of the neck, and just wear it on your belt, and just change the lithium batteries. The code Dr. Deagle, you'll save $30. It's under $400. The most popular lumen is the single pad 132, and those are excellent devices, and they will help to make you heal much, much more quickly.
Dane from Montana. Dear Michelle and Dr. Bill, briefest introduction in appreciation of your time. He goes on to say, my reason for writing is the medical mystery and predicament of my dear friend Gail. It's 58, and she's experienced virtual constant body-wide pain, fever, night sweats, headache, and swollen joints. Now, he just gave me a follow-up email here, and he says that she was diagnosed with lupus.
Yeah, lupus is where you have anti-nuclear antibodies, and you have a whole lot of cytokines. So my protocol will be high-dose Power C, full vitamin K2, Allergon, Allerblock, of course, high dosage. And, of course, we'll try to get her on an alkaline diet, and we'll lock her cytokines. So we use things like Cell Defense, 2 capsules 3 times a day, Regenerex capsule twice a day, Cell Detox Glutathione 2 capsules 3 times a day, Carnosine 1 to 2 capsules twice a day, 3 times a day. And as we gradually turn off the inflammatory reaction with Inflamex and Cell Defense, the Inflamex you want 3 to 5 capsules 3 times a day, and the when you want to get rid of the stealth pathogens, because a lot of time lupus is triggered off by drugs and a stealth pathogen like mycobacteria, fungi, etc. So we use Nutridyne, 15 to 20 drops 3 to 4 times a day, Alcimed 3 times a day, and Silver 100, 1 spray or 3 drops per 10 pounds body weight 3 times a day, and NutriDefense, very important, NutriDefense, 2 caplets 3 times a day to boost the immune system. And we can turn off the cytokines, kill the pathogens off, and start to heal the tissues. But it's basically a cytokine disorder caused by anti-nuclear antibodies and other antibodies that are attacking because there's a stealth pathogen present.
Larissa, in an email, I would love to try your Vitamineral Max, but it contains some folic acid. My body is not able to process this form of folic acid. I'm not sure what she's talking about. Do you? She says, do you have something with methylfolate? Do you know what she's talking about? Yeah,
we have there's a methylfolate in the Vitamineral Max. It has some folic acid, which everybody can convert to some extent, but there's always the 5-methylfolate as well in Vitamineral Max. That's why it's unique. Every one of our vitamins in our Vitamineral Max is in its activated state. So she's wrong. You have to have some folate, because if you're going to eat veggies or anything else, most of the natural food you're eating has folic acid. But you want to additionally have 5-methylfolate, which we have. In fact, our supplements are the only ones in the world that every single one of them is in the activated final metabolic state, so it jumps the gene defect and the metabolic blockade by toxins in the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a whole big, long one. This one is all about GMO.
Yeah.
Clyde, you're wonderful. He's doing lots of work, with the...
On genetically modified food.
Yeah, and he's trying
and by the way, just to give you an update on GMO,
yes.
The federal government did pass the law in the Congress, 250, I think, to 150 votes, which means the federal government is overriding 4 states that have put laws out against GMO food. It looks like it was written literally by Mount Satan, I call them, Mount Monsanto. Yes. And we need to have serious challenges in the courts, because what it basically says is you don't have a right to know. That's why a number of senators fighting against this and congresspeople basically have said, they call it the dark bill, or denial of Americans the right to know. They call dark. In other words, they want to keep them in the dark when Russia, China, and other countries around the world have banned GMO, won't even accept food from America. Here in America, the crazies in Congress passed this bill, 250 to 150. You need to go and call your congressman and ask them if they were supported dark. If they pass this GMO bill, they need to get recalled. This is very evil. It's the same as the evilness of forced vaccines in California, and a lot of other craziness, like the Jade Helm, which is the federal government literally doing a war game simulation of grabbing patriots and assaulting or killing us in our homes or taking us off to civil detention. This is unacceptable.
Alani from Colorado. Thank you, Michelle, for you just gave him an update there on what's happening with his life support. He said, I wanted to order the methylation enzyme activators, but could no longer
It's called BioLVR.
Oh, it's just the name change.
Yeah, it's a name change. It was a long one. BioLVR is what it is.
Oh,
it's activated B6, okay. B12, and folic acid.
He said, I'm following the gout protocol and have found the products I am taking effective in reducing the frequency of gout attacks. So it's a BioLVR, Lonnie. Okay.
Yeah, BioLVR, Semethyl, Superfolate, and Powermethyl B12. And believe it or not, your gout will go away. And also, if you check your homocysteine, and I tell people to challenge yourself the night before with 500 milligrams of L-methionine An amino acid you can get at any health food store, or you can order online. And the next day, do your homocysteine level, because 2/3 to 3/4 of people that have a homocysteine elevation that can burn their brain cells or their blood vessel walls will not show up unless you do an L-methionine challenge the night before they do the blood test.
This is an interesting email from Dalmaquea from Spain.
Right.
And he goes on to talk about, I guess he's putting together some kind of a manuscript with all of your different shows that you've talked about, the Fukushima.
Fukushima Daiichi, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to be using it in a presentation. I think he's a...
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the radiological desertification of the North Pacific, the radiological poisoning of the Northern Hemisphere with pulses going to the Southern Hemisphere, and it's the start of a series of globalist Georgia Guidestone extinction-level events, because the inaction by the scientific and the geopolitical community is a heinous omnicide of all living things on Earth. It's also a warning sign that all the nuclear reactors, like all the ones in Switzerland, all 5 sit on fault lines or within 5 miles. And most reactors are in tsunami zones or on the coastal areas. So Fukushima is a warning to switch all these reactors to liquid natural gas and get over the idea of boiling water with nuclear fission. It's stupid. And Einstein said that himself. He says boiling water with nuclear fission is insane. That's the words I'm quoting from Einstein himself.
This is Philippe in an email here, Bill. It's quite complicated. For his mom, you see all the things she has, 65 years old, a history of... What is all this on here?
She's got long-term bronchiectasis, which is damage. She's on corticosteroids, antibiotics, and formoterol. Quit smoking. Treated pulmonary TBC. Von Willebrand's disease. It's a minor blood disorder for bleeding. One functioning kidney.
He's afraid she's going to have a stroke. So, for prevention of stroke, is that the nattokinase?
Yeah, nattokinase and lumbrikinase. Yeah, and also cardiovasc.
Of course, the
cardiovasc, lumbrikinase, nattokinase. Yes. But we have protocols that we can help with every one of those things and help modify your life. Yeah. She should benefit from...
I'll give you the email.
Yeah, she'll also benefit because of bronchiectasis with our antipathogenics and mild hyperbaric oxygen and ozone. Tremendously.
Well, thank you for listening today. It's been a pleasure as usual. Enjoy your weekend. God bless you. And I guess we won't say that Bill's going. You'll be here for the next hour.
No, and round 2, by the way, every hour of the program through Monday to Friday, except the first hour of Friday, is open lines. 800-259-5791. We have our Listen Live line, our podcast, and everything's all free, including the live stream TV. Call in if you have a question, but it has to be topical.